Hello there, Africa, and welcome to another exciting edition of the AfCFTA Podcast. Now, this is the platform, the authoritative platform that brings you everything around the AfCFTA and the drive of the continent of Africa to integrate its market and create a single market for its people, be able to move goods and services from one country to the other without impediments and without hindrances. Now, we've been talking a lot about the AfCFTA from all angles, from negotiations, and now in season 2, we've been talking about the meat of the agreement, the protocols that have been put in place, the tools and instruments that the men and women at the Secretariat tasked to lead in ensuring that we have all of the mechanisms that require us to move goods and services together across the continent of Africa have been engaged in ensuring that we are able to deliver on this mandate of implementing the AfCFTA effectively. Today, we're going to talk about digital trade. We're going to talk also about investment. We're going to talk about intellectual property rights. And I'm sure that if you are an innovator, if you are in the tech industry, if you are trading digitally, and I should say that most of us these days are trading digitally. We are buying a thing or two or making payments digitally across the continent, and we engage in all these things regularly. But it's important to understand how the AfCFTA is making all of that, the intellectual property rights, the investment, and then the digital trade, how the AfCFTA is making it very smooth for us on the continent of Africa. We are happy to bring this to you and also bring you closer to the AfCFTA, but we are more importantly happy to have in the studio here the Chief Technical Advisor at the AfCFTA Secretariat, also in charge and heading the digital trade as well as investment and property rights, intellectual property rights. Mr. Gilberto Antonio, good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
Good. Break it down for us, digital trade and all of that, and then we will come to the connection of that to the AfCFTA.
Yeah, this is very interesting questions, and everyone is asking what is the difference between a digital trade and e-commerce. So digital trade go beyond e-commerce.
Okay.
E-commerce, we are talking about a platform that allow customers or SMEs to sell and to buy. When we are talking about digital trade, we are talking to everything that is commercially enabled by digital technology, including digital payment, include digital data flows, include digital identity. So it's go really beyond the e-commerce.
So e-commerce would be a subset of the digital trade.
Yes, indeed. It's a subset of a digital trade. But digital trade go beyond and include, for example, digital payment. If you are making payment using mobile money, this is a digital payment, is part of a digital trade. If a bank is transferring a data from one place to another. This is about data transfer, so it's a digital trade. It's also encompassed on a digital trade protocol. So many of the activities that we do it with the technology is part of the digital trade.
Great. Just to get this clear, do we have a separate protocol on digital trade, a separate protocol on IPR and investment?
Yeah, you're right. These are different protocols. Protocols on investment, on IP, and on digital trade. As you're aware, there's 8 protocols, starting with the first phase that were dealing with the trade in goods and trade in service, plus the dispute settlement. Additionally, there were 3 protocols on competition, on investment, and on IPR. And last but not least, we conclude and the heads of state and government adopted a protocol on digital trade and on women and youth in trade.
These days, particularly in West Africa, we see a lot of mobile money transactions here and there, and even commercial drivers are using PO systems to make payments and all of that. How is a digital trade system doing on the continent so far, per your assessment and from where you said, how is it going?
Yeah, if we discuss about digital payments, Africa is very innovative. We are at a level where the mobile money in countries like Kenya and Ghana is really a astonishing level. However, there are still a challenge is in terms of a cross-border digital payment. How make sure that SMEs that are based in Ghana can make a payment to a counterpart that is in Kenya or in other African countries. So this is the challenge that the digital trade protocol tackle with the principles and the binding provisions to deal with this challenge.
Okay, let's say Angola, where you're from. That is very common and it's ongoing and it's very active across the continent. But what you are saying is that if you have to then make payments, for instance, beyond Angola to, let's say, South Africa or Egypt in Northern Africa, that's where the difficulty comes in.
Yeah,
that's where challenges are.
Yeah, the challenge in terms of fees that you have to pay, in terms of also the timing of transactions. So if you are doing a digital payment, it's almost instantaneously. But if you do through the traditional tools like a bank, it can take more than 1-3 days. And sometimes, because it's cross-border, the money may have to go outside of Africa to a correspondent bank before coming back to Africa for your counterpart to get it.
Good. But generally, what's the prospects of digital trade within the continent, especially recognizing that countries are embracing mobile money transactions and all of that?
Yes, the prospect is really positive, very, very, very positive. The only conditions is that we have to create an enable ecosystem and also rules and regulation in terms of legal framework to allow that trade may happen easier and faster.
And now the AfCFTA has a protocol on digital trade that's supposed to, and I'm sure that you will explain further to us, that's supposed to facilitate trading, intra-Africa trading when it comes to digital trade. It also connects to investment. It connects to the intellectual property rights. Help us connect all of these. What is this protocol about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just imagine that you are SME in Ghana. You launch a platform about digital payment, an innovative platform. So for you to deploy across Africa, you need to have a certain legal framework that will enable the deployment. And also you need a legal framework that will protect your innovation. So this is where the protocol on the IPI is important. And after that, after you finish your business plan and you start to deploy, you may need some capital. So this is what is important, the protocol on investment. So all these protocols that are part of the AfCFTA agreement are connected. And is really intended to boost intra-African trade.
Sticking to the digital trade, what do you think can be said to be some of the major difficulties that are associated with trading digitally on the continent?
There are some challenges that we have to deal with to boost the digital trade. One of the challenge is related with the digital skills. How can we make sure that the digital literacy is at the level that go align with our our goals. Another also challenge is related with the internet connectivity, especially in a rural area. And last but not least is relate with the interoperability of the digital systems. Countries, including customers service, other service, they have their own system. They deploy their own system, but when coming to talk to other countries, they are still challenged that we have to deal with.
Yeah, I would want to know how the AfCFTA is addressing some of these difficulties that you talk about, particularly harmonizing the systems across countries, as you rightly put it, that the systems from country to country are disconnected. How is the AfCFTA ensuring that all these systems are connected to facilitate, trading digitally across borders, which is a major difficulty as you talked about?
Yes, we attack it in two tracks. One is to have a legal binding agreement on a digital trade that contain binding provisions related with the interoperability and some of the very important area on digital trade. This is one. Two, we are also launching with some partners initiatives related with the digital skills, related with creating a platform or systems that allow interoperability between national systems. So we are doing in two tracks. One is to have and to implement this legal binding digital trade protocol. And another track is to have some initiatives that is intended to facilitate digital trade in the continent.
Good. You help us understand the level of interest that party states have taken in the digital trade systems. So if you have to get a country A to understand the need to connect their systems with the country B, how's the enthusiasm to accept some of these new changes, like on the continent? Are people accepting? Are countries accepting this?
No, the digital trade protocol is really unique on its kind, and member state negotiated in a very short period. With the very ambitious provisions, and is the protocol also that is championing by 3 heads of state. It shows that there's political will.
Who are these heads of states, though? Just to
Yes, His Excellency the President of Kenya, His Excellency the President of South Africa, and His Excellency the President of Nigeria.
Good.
So it shows that there's a political will.
Yeah, and the interest is there.
Yes, and when we engage with the stakeholders, in particular the SMEs, in particular the business communities, they are really very supportive, and they want it to happen now, not in coming years, but now.
They want to see it now. Now, that's a good one to link to my next question, trying to find out how the protocol, the AfCFTA protocol on digital trade, factors the small and medium enterprises, and how is the digital trade protocol paving way for SMEs on the continent of Africa?
Yes, one of the goals of the digital trade protocol is, or one of the principles that is important, is the inclusion. So inclusion include, of course, the SMEs. So there's a part of the protocol that is dealing with that. It showed that the negotiators and the member state were really interested that the digital trade should enable SMEs to be part of this journey for a single African digital market.
And how's the AfCFTA bringing the party states in the continent together to know about digital trade? What's the level of awareness creation on the continent to know what is available for citizens and for businesses that are engaging in digital trade, to know what the AfCFTA is able to provide for them when it comes to their trading digitally? Is there a certain special wave of awareness also going on around the continent when it comes to letting the continent understand the protocols?
Yeah, this is as something that is important for us, important for everyone that is want the protocol to succeed, is the awareness. And we are doing it with the different activities and the different initiatives. For example, we have launched the first edition last year in Lusaka, the Digital Trade Forum that will take place this year in Nigeria. Is an event where we have different stakeholders to really discuss in a practical way about digital trade in Africa. We have at division level a strategy, advocacy strategy that is intended to raise awareness about digital trade protocol, and we want really that the private sector can have the ownership of this very interesting legal document.
Good. A lot of young people are involved in digital trade these days. Are there specific targets and measures that's going out there for the young people to target particularly young innovators? We have a lot of these content creators, animators, and all of that who are engaging in digital activities. Of what level are you approaching these?
Yes, there's still a lot to do. We are talking about a huge continent, 55 countries, 1.4 billion people. But we are doing for example, we launched last year a innovation challenge, and we will also do the second edition this year. That is intended to see and to select the innovations that is happening around the continent.
You mean the AfCFTA Digital Innovators?
Yes,
that's the one.
Yes.
That's a good one. And by the way, just explain that too. How did that go?
It went well. We were very fascinated of the proposal that we got, and we had this selection process where we selected, we shortlisted the innovators that we want now to support for the success of this innovation. So we want to do it annually. We think there are a lot of innovations in the continent, continent that the majority are young people. So we want to be part of this journey of innovation. But we are also open to support other initiatives from private sector or another institutions on this area, because we think it's very important.
Yeah. So with the AfCFTA Innovators Challenge, give us the idea behind it, and what are you seeking to achieve with that?
Yes.
Particularly for the young people on the continent who are interested.
Yes. Well. You have whatever is the innovation that you have. If you keep just in your rooms, it will not really. You will not be able to succeed. To succeed, you have to make it known. To succeed, you have to
let the continent know about.
Yes, you have to have a support of some institutions. You have to make it bankable. You have to. So there are a lot of steps that you need beyond just making the innovation. So for us, the challenge is. It's not just an event. It's a way that we can support the innovators to go beyond just create the platform or having an idea, that this idea can be now implemented and can be bankable. Yes.
You said you had the maiden one when last year?
Yes, last year.
Are you having it every year?
The idea is to have it annually. So what we do is that we announce to Africa through a different platform that we have this challenge open, and the innovators can submit, and we have a committee that will go through the different innovations to choose the one that we can, the one or some that we can support at the stage where they are.
Good. And the last one that you had, What's the level of success you were able to take out of that?
We are very amazing to have the innovator for where they are in different stage of the project. We probably because it's the first edition, the numbers are good, but we expected more. So I think the second one will be in terms of participants will increase, and we are also now having or trying to have more institutions that can support this challenge, that we can work together to be really a big event, not just event per se, but that can really support
and continuously support
the young people on these innovations area.
Great, great. So what would you say is the focus, the main focus of AfCFTA when it comes to digital trade? Is it targeted more to the smaller medium enterprises, the young people? Is it targeted at conglomerates and big companies? Is it targeted at countries maybe, or governments, and connecting governmental and country systems, or what?
The agreement is negotiated by the government, but we know that who do make business are the private sector. So it's that the business people. So the government is important stakeholders in terms of implementing the protocol, in terms of harmonizing the national legislation, but the private sector should be the main focus, or one of the main focus. So for us, really, the more important is that the government has a fundamental role when it comes to digital trade. They are the one that is draft the regulations. They are the one that negotiate the digital trade protocol. So they are a very important actor in terms of implementing the AfCFTA. But who do business, private sector. So for us, it's very important to focus on the private sectors through then that this project of creating a single digital African market can succeed.
What is the continent expected to hear from the AfCFTA in terms of all the interventions that the protocol is seeking to put across? What is the next big news, or what is the big thing that you want all stakeholders across board on the continent of Africa to know?
The big news is that the challenge that I enumerate before should not be any more challenge. It means that we can now say to the business community that the national system are interoperable, that we tackle different challenge, including digital skills, that the internet connectivity is not anymore a challenge, at least and at the level where we are. It's most important that the digital trade protocol is not just a paper, it's not just a legal document, but is something that is driving, that is changing the digital trade in the continent.
Good. As I asked you from the beginning, when you talk about investment, are we talking about investment in the digital trade, especially the investment under protocols? What does it entail?
No, the protocol on investment go beyond, of course, digital trade. This is intended to promote intra-Africa investment. As you may know, most of investments nowadays come from outside of the continent. This is a fact. And the second point is also that there's a situation where investors from outside of the continent can have a more preferential treatment due to whatever is the agreement or treaty that an African country have with the outside. So this protocol is intended to facilitate, of course, intra-African investment or investment in general, and to attract high quality of investment that sustain the development of the continent.
Yeah. And why is it so important to focus on investment? Why do you think investment is a key pillar if we're seeking to have intra-Africa trade.
Yes, investment is very important. You are a business person. You have an idea. You start with your own capital to do a business. But if you want to increase the size of your company, if you want to increase the volume of products that either you are selling or you are manufacturing, you need investment. You need capital. So any legal document that facilitate the investors, that make investor more comfortable, that make for the investor point of view is investment more predictable, or a investment regime that is more predictable is important. It can boost, or it can facilitate attracting more investment.
Yeah. So, what would you say are some of the specific objectives of the protocol on investment?
The protocol on investment doesn't focus on a specific area. It's focused on attracting responsible and sustainable investment. But if we talk about areas that we think there's an opportunity in terms of investment, it goes to from infrastructure to logistical, agro-processing. That is very important given the potential of the continent in terms of agriculture production, and as well as the pharmaceutical areas that we think is important and crucial for the continent.
And intellectual property rights, what exactly is it?
As you know, and we have mentioned about digital trades, there are a lot of innovation in the continent. And the continent also in terms of creative industry is a reference globally. So the IP allow you to protect your idea, to protect
your innovation,
your brand, to protect your product, to protect the innovations that you have bring in the market. So this is what is the IP.
Good.
Right.
And the AfCFTA protocol on the IPR, what are the specifics there?
The intellectual property protocol is a very comprehensive binding document that cover different areas of intellectual property, from patent, trademark, going to very important and a crucial area for the continent, that is traditional and folkloric knowledge. So is a document that also reflects the African views on international discussions related with the IP.
Yeah. And why would you say that it's so important at this point in time when we are implementing the AfCFTA and we are growing intra-Africa trade? Why is the IP so important?
If you are innovating a country X and you want to scale up your innovation across the continent, nowadays what you have or you obliged to do is to register your innovation in individual IP office. So the AfCFTA protocol on the IPR is intended to create a unified IP regime in the continent.
Good. And if you want to advise an African entrepreneur, what importance should they attach to the IPR, the protocol on IPR?
No, it's very important. If you have, when you are starting your business, one of the first things that you have to looking for is the name, the logo, and so on. The consumer, when they are buying your products, buy, of course, based on the quality, and sometimes quality is visualized on the brand that you have. So if you have the IP regime for the continent, it's very important for African business community, because it allows you to scale and to be known across the continent with the protections that no one will replicate without your authorization. either the product or the logo and so on.
Good. Let's put all of it together. The areas that you are in charge of, the Secretariat, Digital Trade, IPR, investment. If you put all of these together, what change do you see, or wave of change do you see, that is blowing across the continent of Africa to allow smooth trading in services and trading in goods across the continent of Africa? The fact that you've got a protocol that is dealing with digital trade, the fact that you've got a protocol that is enhancing investment, you've got a protocol that is also protecting the rights of innovators and all of that.
Yes, this is a legal framework that are now in place, and we are working on some initiatives that is intended to implement this legal framework. This is first, and at our level. But we know also at the national level, there are some countries who are quite advanced in some areas, specific areas that are covered by the three protocol. Last committee on digital trade, we had some countries who made some presentations on these intentions of sharing their experience, and we saw that in some specific areas there are some countries that are quite advanced. But one way that's also we are supporting the member state is to do, for example, the gap analysis, meaning we review the national legislations with the AfCFTA protocols in this area as benchmark, and we support the member state to align the practice, to align the legal framework with the AfCFTA protocols in different areas. So it's very, very important for this work.
Yeah, and I noticed that you were in Tunisia the last time to engage and all of that. How are the party states receiving the coordination activities of the Secretariat in the areas of the support that you bring to the table?
Yes, you're right. We were in Tunisia, and we were also in different countries that request a support from our sides. For example, when coming to investment, we did an excellent job with the national authorities in Eswatini and in Kenya. When coming to digital trade, you mentioned about Tunisia, and there are many other countries that are requesting support. So we are mobilizing the team to support this member state on this exercise that is important on the journey of implementing the AfCFTA agreement and its protocols.
What advice would you give to the continent's businesses, particularly small and medium enterprises, about these protocols that exist, and how can they harness the opportunities that it comes with?
Yes, of course, you have also to follow what's happening in the country that you want to invest, and the country where you want to deploy your innovation, where your innovation you want it to be protected, the level of implementation. So we are on the first stage of implementing these three protocol legal document. The intention is to accelerate its implementations, to really make it live and impactful for the business community.
How are you excited about the future of the continent and trading on the continent, looking at all these tools and protocols that have been put in place, which hitherto did not exist until the AfCFTA, on behalf of the continent?
For me, it's been a very amazing journey since I joined the AfCFTA Secretariat in 2021. Before that, I used to be a trade negotiator at the World Trade Organization for my country, Angola, and I know by experience how challenging it is to have a consensus on a legal document. In WTO, we try to have an agreement on different areas that we consider important for Africa, but we didn't achieve since 2001 that the Doha round was launched. Here in the continent, despite the difference that may have in terms of economic development and the structure, there's a political will to achieve the economic integration, because it's the only way that we have to really change our development trajectory for a better future.
How is Angola itself receiving AfCFTA? You were trade negotiator on their behalf, on the country's behalf, at WTO. Scanning around the continent of Africa, and let's use Angola, your country, as a case study. How is the AfCFTA being received?
Yeah, in Angola, the AfCFTA is part of the strategy of the government, as well as also be part of the SADC market. The enthusiasm is everywhere. You go to every corner of the Africa, including Angola, and you talk about the AfCFTA. When people know what is, they are really enthusiastic, and they are pushing us to that has to be now. It should not be after. So the same happened in Angola. They are, of course, focused on a continental level with the AfCFTA, but also at regional level with the SADC. And it's very, very interesting journey. His Excellency the President of Angola, when he was here in Ghana on his official visit, he decided to come to the AfCFTA Secretariat. So it shows how important the AfCFTA is for Angola as a country and for the government.
Great. And look in the face of the young entrepreneur in Africa, look in the face of the continent of Africa, and give us a message. Where do we see our future? We have protocol on digital trade, protocol intellectual property, protocol on investment. Africa, what are we in for?
The future is bright. It's really, really bright. But it depends on us, all of us, business community, the AfCFTA Secretariat, member state, government, all of us, we have to be together on this journey to make it happen, because it's the only solutions that we have to change our development trajectory. If you see what has happened in this world in terms of a geopolitical event and how it's affecting the continent, it shows us that we have to create a more resilient economy. And for that, we have to work together. We have to give priority on intra-African trade and investment.
We appreciate what you're doing and the immense work that you and your team are putting together. You may want to say something to all stakeholders, or your team, in particular the Secretariat, and then the good people of the continent of Africa that you are working for tirelessly.
Yeah, no, starting with my team, I'm really an honor to work with the people, with the brilliant African experts who are daily work for the continent. The three divisions are composed with the colleagues from different countries and different backgrounds that are really daily work for the continent. So that is also a reasons why we are achieving a result, a fruitful result when it comes to the AfCFTA. To stakeholders, yes, we are on the same journey, and let's make it happen. Let's work harder and harder for us to really change the narrative of Africa. Africa should not be the continent of only potential. Everyone recognizes that the potential is there. Now it's time to this potential to be realized for the future of us and the next generation.
Great. And as you talked about working hard, I was going to ask you, do you also play hard, or you only work hard?
We have been going around the continent to support the member state and stakeholders on this journey. When it's possible, yes, but you can imagine 55 member states, 55 countries, and we are trying to be everywhere when it's possible. So it's a very demanding day-to-day that we have here at the Secretariat.
Yeah. The more reason why we are happy to always pray for you and wish you well, you and your team, to continue to do more. And we wish you well, Mr. Antonio.
Yeah. No, thank you. Thank you very
Gilberto.
much.
It's always a pleasure to have you. So that's digital trade, that's investment, that's intellectual property right. If you have any questions around these three protocols, you want to share them with us, we'll endeavor to get responses from Mr. Antonio and share them with you. But engage, most importantly, engage all these protocols, especially if you are involved in any of them. You are an innovator, need to protect your property. If you have to invest on the continent of Africa, engage the protocols on all these three that he's talked about: digital trade, investment, intellectual property right, and know what is there for you to be able to harness and benefit from the AfCFTA.